Hey everyone! So as you can see, I'm in my car, and let me explain why. So my roommate is home right now, and I don't want to disturb them. Sorry, there's fuzz on the camera. So I don't want to disturb them. And so I was gonna go film in the park next to my house, and it started raining as soon as I went outside, or it's like a fine sprinkle mist. So I decided probably not to do that. So I'm like, okay, a fairly private place where I can talk at a normal volume and everything would be my car. So we're gonna do a car Q&A today. Thanks for dealing with the weird scenery change. But I'm really excited to answer your guys' questions. You asked a lot of really good ones. My computer is in the passenger seat this time, so I'll be looking over there for the questions. And let's just hop right in on this beautifully misty Seattle day. And it's July, come on. Okay, so the first question was, have I seen Deadpool 2 yet, and what do I think? Yes, I have seen Deadpool 2. I thought it was okay. I think overall it was an enjoyable movie. I didn't think it was groundbreaking, and I don't think it was trying to be either. It was funny enough. I wasn't rolling over in my seat laughing, but it's a lot of that quick humor kind of thing that Ryan Reynolds does. He does it very well. It's not necessarily my kind of humor necessarily. I think I said necessarily twice. Oops. But I thought it was an enjoyable movie, but for me personally, I probably could have waited for it to come out on Netflix or something like that, and it's definitely not one that I'll be purchasing. But I thought it was enjoyable, and I really liked seeing Domino in the movie, Cable. I wish we got a little bit more from their backstories a little bit. But overall I thought it was fine. It was okay. You know, on a scale of 1 being awful, 10 being phenomenal, it was probably like a solid 5, you know, like it was just run-of-the-mill, feel good, easy energy kind of movie, so it was fine. I know it's not a popular opinion. A lot of people are like, oh, Deadpool's the best, and I just haven't really been that into Deadpool. Like, I understand that he's funny, he's very adult, which I appreciate, and I like that he adds humor and he breaks the fourth wall as an actor. I love it when people break the fourth wall, but I just don't quite get all of the hype. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Favorite place in Washington to visit. Washington State, not DC. There are a few. Honestly, the first that come to mind are mountains. So, Mount Rainier is gorgeous. I have hiked around more than half of it. Right now, my father and brother and I are working on like doing pieces around the circumference of the mountain. And I think we only have 2 more days left to do, but Mount Rainier is gorgeous. So many beautiful sights, and yeah, it's amazing. Waterfalls, lakes, snow, meadows, flowers, just, oh my god, it's stunning. If you ever get the chance to go. Probably the best place that's a quick day hike but also has amazing views is Summerland, so I highly recommend that. Mount St. Helens is also amazing, just for its historical, I guess, significance. For those who don't know, Mount St. Helens, essentially, rather than blowing upwards, it blew sideways. So like half of, not quite half, but like a pretty good side of the mountain is gone, and it was, you know, just strewn across hundreds of miles, I don't know if that's an exaggeration, of land, and there was just ash everywhere. So I think that's a really cool one too. And so when you hike there right now, you still walk through a lot of ash, and you end up getting so much dust on you, but that's a beautiful one. And then non-mountain wise, I think Leavenworth is super cute. It's a little Bavarian town. Adorable, very, like, it's just everything is Bavarian themed, and it's super, super cute. If I could visit a haunted place, castle, town, house, what would it be and why? That's a good question. I would like, my first instinct would be Leap Castle in Ireland. I know, Ireland, no surprise. But Leap Castle, I remember seeing an episode of was either Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures or one of those ghost hunting TV shows on Discovery way back when I was a kid. And that episode just stood out to me just because I thought it was really fascinating. So I'd probably want to go there. That's like my first instinct. But in the Seattle area, if you're interested in haunted areas, the Moore Theater downtown is one. And I've been there many, many, many times because I worked in there. So when I was there, I would go through the walls to get up to the Spotlight operating towers. And inside the walls is so creepy. It's just really old. You can see all of the old architecture. The second balcony is mostly closed, at least the top couple of levels, because the floor, rather than being level, is actually tilted downwards. And that's where, historically, that's where they put minorities to go see shows, because it wasn't as much of a concern if their chairs were to slip down the slope and they were to fall over the balcony. Terrible. So it has quite a history. Some people report seeing like ghosts in the fly lofts where people pull the rigs to get things to come in and out of stage. I haven't experienced that, but it's still a really cool theater. Another cool Seattle one, while I'm on this, is Seattle Underground, which is a tour of the city of Seattle before it is the way it is now. So it used to be built, well, it kind of still is built on like sawdust and logs. It's not the most stable, but there was a whole city underneath the city that's currently here. And it kind of goes through that architecture because it still exists for the most part. And, you know, obviously it's no longer operational because there was a lot of collapsing because the ground was so uneven. But that's a really cool one too. So I highly recommend Seattle Underground. Let's see. If you could live in a fandom, which one would it be and why? And that is a super mean question. I'd probably say either Marvel or DC. I'm not really sure which. Maybe Marvel over DC. Just for the fact that I think it would be really nice to have superheroes in today's world. I think we could probably use some of them. So that's probably what my my first instinct would be. Current favorite phone game. I don't play phone games, so I don't really have an answer for you, unfortunately. I know that's a super boring non-answer, but I don't actually have any games on my phone. I used to have Pokemon Go, and I used to absolutely love that, so I'd probably say that. But I actually undownloaded it, or uninstalled, that's the word. I uninstalled it, and I no longer have it on my phone, and I don't really play. So it was fun while it lasted, for sure. I think I pretty much stopped when most of the hype died down and I just got really busy. But that was a fun one, but currently I don't play any. If I could live in any time in history, when would I choose? This is a tricky question because I, like, to be totally realistic, the best time for me to live in right now would be now-ish to maybe like, I don't know, maybe the 90s in Seattle or something like that. Just because, you know, logistically, if you think back in time, women didn't have a lot of freedoms at all until the more recent eras. So, you know, there's no time but now, or whatever that quote is. So I'd have to say sometime around a more recent time. The 90s seemed more innocent than the current day. I don't know if that's just because I was a kid at the time, but probably the 90s. But to like fully answer your question of like history, if I were to observe another point in time, then I might choose maybe ancient Rome. I'm not a huge history buff, so I wouldn't be able to rattle off the difference between the Renaissance, the medieval times, and the Dark Ages and Middle Ages and all that stuff. I have no idea. But ancient Rome would be cool, I think, just to see how things operated at that time, how people interacted, the arts and all of that. So I think that'd be interesting. Also, I really apologize for this weird light patch of hair. It's definitely catching more sun, but it's not like as poofy as it as it looks right now. But ignore that. It cannot be helped. I have hairsprayed it. It did nothing. So, my apologies. Who was my biggest role model growing up? This is a totally corny answer, but my mom. My mom is wonderful. She taught me a lot of patience, understanding, sharing, kindness, treating your neighbor as you would want to be treated. So definitely my mom. She's very organized, very responsible, very determined. I think I learned a lot of that from her. So, Mom. If I could gain one skill without practicing it, what would it be? I cannot snap my fingers, guys. I really can't. I've had, I think 4 people try to teach me like one-on-one now, and I know that the snap doesn't come from here. It comes from your finger hitting the, the meat of your palm. I know that, and I know that like creating a little tunnel is where the sound kind of reverberates or whatever, but I just can't do it. Like, this is, I think the mic is over here. This is the closest I can get, guys. And it only gets worse from there. It's very fleshy. And it just gets worse. I think it's because my hands are always dry. I'm not sure. Some people say, like, if you have lotion, it sounds better. But that's as good as it gets. I can never do those, like, nice snapping snaps. So that would probably be one. Logistically, I'd also love to be able to sew, not only for cosplay, but for like real life. I think that'd be super helpful to be able to make my own costumes, make my own clothes, make them custom fitted. That would be fantastic. As you guys, or some of you guys know, I'm working on Ayla the Huntress, and I've like put off sewing her dress till the very last thing because I'm so scared. But I've started to sew a mock-up. I think I'm gonna try sewing another mock-up before I jump into the real thing, just to be like super safe. Because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. But if I had to choose like a cool skill, it would also be really cool to be a pro at self-defense, just like instantly. That would be super helpful. Hopefully I'd never have to use it, but that would be super nice to know. If I could have lunch with any historical figure, who would I pick? I was thinking about this, and it would be a really, really tough decision. So I'm gonna say a couple. Stephen Hawking, who recently passed away, which is so sad. I'd love to just pick his brain, you know? I think it would be amazing. Amelia Earhart, who is the first female aviator, very determined, just a pioneer of her day, and I would love to talk to her. But also Robin Williams. I don't know if he counts as a historical figure, but I mean, it's Robin Williams, guys. Like, he's great, and I would love to just hear more about his process and who he was as a person, and mental illness and creativity and all that stuff. Just Robin Williams. So that would be amazing. Favorite words are hard, guys. Favorite scenic view. Basically, if I could have one view out my window every day, what would it be? This is a pretty easy one for me. Cannon Beach, Oregon. If you've never been there, never heard of it, look it up. Cannon Beach, Oregon. My family goes there every year in the summer, the last week of July, for a week, essentially. Give or take a few days. But like, it's been a thing in my family since before I was born. And technically I was there when I was in my mom's stomach. So, it's such a beautiful place, and it's so cute. It's just an adorable town, but the beach itself is stunning, and the sand is so soft and perfect. And it's one of those beaches you can walk barefoot and your feet aren't going to be dirty by the end of it. And the sea life is beautiful, the ocean's beautiful. It's frigid, but you can definitely body surf in it. And then Haystack Rock, which is kind of the the landmark of Cannon Beach is just so stunning. And it's a place that reminds me of home in a way, because I've been there so many times. I just feel peaceful, like inner peace when I'm there, and happy. So Haystack Rock, if I had to see one scenic view forever, that would be it. Do I have tattoos? I do not have any tattoos. No strong reason why, just besides the fact that I'm kind of indecisive. So if I got one, I wouldn't want to regret it at all. But if I were to get a tattoo, I imagine it would probably either be a Celtic knot or some sort of Irish saying, like, "May the road rise up to meet you." And I would probably get it either, like, on, like, if it was the Celtic knot, probably on the inside of my wrist or, like, the very back of my neck. And if it was the saying, I might get it, like, on my ribs, even though I hear that hurts really bad. But I think that would be a really beautiful place to put it. But nope, no current tattoos. Let's see, almost at the end here. Do you have any weird or original talents? This is, like, honestly, I spent a long time thinking about this because I don't really think I have any, like, standout talents. If you know me, correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, I just don't have any weird talent. Like, I can't do the weird, like, clover thing with my tongue, you know, where it's, like, 3 different waves, and I can't juggle, I can't unicycle. Like, there's nothing weird that I can think of, or, like, I'm not double jointed, so I can't do anything weird with my hands. So I don't know. I can blink really fast, but that's not really a talent. I don't really know if it'll pick up on camera, but it's kind of like that, and I probably just look stupid and possessed, but that's fine. I don't really think that's a talent. I can kind of wiggle my ears, but my hairline kind of goes with it. I don't know if you noticed that. But besides that, I guess, like, a normal, not weird necessarily talent that I have, I'm pretty good at memorizing stuff. So I've always been pretty good in theater in that way. I've typically been one of the first people who gets off book, which is knowing your lines so you don't need the script in your hand during shows. So in rehearsals and stuff, I'm usually the first to get off book. It's just always been fairly easy for me. I think part of that might be because I just grew up with musicals and I learn things really well in song or when I'm in motion. So, like, when I'm memorizing lines for a play, I'd usually go to, like, a treadmill in the gym and just read my script and practice my script over and over while I'm walking on the treadmill. Whatever works, right? Last question. Which characters are you too scared to cosplay? Now, this is a tricky question because I would say that scared is a pretty strong word. I don't really think there are any that I'm scared to cosplay per se, because I don't really know what that would all entail. But I think one that would take some extra courage to cosplay would probably be Leeloo from The Fifth Element. If I were to wear her bandage outfit, you know what I'm talking about? Like, she's the one with the orange hair, and she has the white stripes essentially across her body. There's, like, one on her neck, one across her breasts, her waist, her hips. Like, that would take a lot of courage. You're essentially naked, and if you move too far, I'm pretty sure something would slip. So that would be some extra bravery. But I think I'd also be nervous to cosplay someone super iconic, like Wonder Woman, for example. Because she's so iconic, I feel like there's very little room for error. And that just might be me being a perfectionist, but I think if I were to cosplay her, I'd be nervous about doing it right. You know? And there's so many people who do her so well, and I know that there are so many different ways to do her, and me personally, I just would worry. Like, I'd want to do her justice, and I wouldn't want, you know, I don't know, you know what I mean? Just anyone super iconic. Wonder Woman, Supergirl might be a little bit intimidating, but I'd love to cosplay her sometime. So, yeah. But this video is getting long because you guys asked some amazing questions, which was awesome. So I hope I see this many questions next time too, but all of that to say, thank you for asking so many awesome questions. Hopefully the car environment was okay for today. Thanks again for dealing with that. And I just posted my meme and GIFs for the week, posted my selfie yesterday. I do my print raffle announcement tomorrow, so stay tuned for that because you all have entries in there. And I think that just about wraps it up. I'll probably be posting more cosplay progress photos if you're at the $20 and above tier pretty soon. So I think that wraps it up. Anyway, thanks guys so much. I really appreciate your guys' enthusiasm about these question and answers. It makes me so happy. But I also just appreciate you guys seeing me as someone who's worth supporting. And I know that sounds really weird, but these are hard times, and I'm glad that you feel that it is worth supporting someone like me to help create content that I consider to be thoughtful, you know, fairly family friendly, because I don't really do those bikini cosplay kind of things, boudoir cosplay. Yeah, thanks for believing in me, really. So, to get off of my high horse, my soapbox, and my high horse on its soapbox, I will see you guys all very soon. I hope it's sunny where you are, and happy July! Bye, guys.